This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woohooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver? If you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. Choose from hundreds of social casino style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses. So don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
This message comes from Greenlight. Ready to start talking to your kids about financial literacy? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app that teaches kids and teens how to earn, save, spend wisely, and invest with your guardrails in place. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on what your kids are spending with real-time notifications. Join millions of parents and kids building healthy financial habits together on Greenlight. Get started risk-free at greenlight.com/iHeart.
Let your imagination take flight with an AI-powered PC from Lenovo. Whether it's creating digital art, designing new software, or building a portfolio for a future career, our PCs are powered by Intel Core Ultra processors to help students unlock smarter learning and unleash their creativity. That's the power of Lenovo with Intel inside. All you have to do is choose the one that fits your passion. Head to Lenovo.com to shop AI PCs and find your perfect companion. Plus, get 5% off when you create an education account.
We've won every series in a gentleman's sweep. Why would we do it again? But if we were to lose the first two and lose the next two, then we're staying home. We're not going anywhere. It'll be over. But I really don't anticipate that happening. I've got bigger fish to fry. And again, as you would expect, all sorts of people. Some people don't like it. Wow, that is the least inspiring montage I've ever heard. Pathetic. I don't think so. I mean, Showdown's not my favorite song, but it's a showdown. It's like it's OKC. Something's got to give. You know, season series, they played 4 times. Tend to be, what's the series at right now between the two teams?
2-2.
2-2. I mean, how many point differential in those 4 games? 3 points. Like 428 to 425 or 425 to 422, whatever it is. It's a showdown. It's Western Conference Finals. That's what it is. I don't know what else you want. We can't play Kenny Rogers yet. It's not like, it's not even 1 in a million yet. We play Kenny Rogers if we get down 3 games to 1. Then we play, it's 1 in a million. We got to turn this, or we do turn this thing around. Come on. It's showdown is what it is. But I've gotten, somebody called it a mail-it-in montage on a mail-it-in Monday. Yeah, well, he's so good at it, it seems like he's mailing it in. Same with me. People go, he doesn't put anything into this. I put plenty into it. It just doesn't. It just sounds.
You can't expect a hitter to step up to the plate and hit a home run every at bat.
Yes, that's exactly correct. And there are some tried.
Sometimes you got to hit a ball through the first and second base opposite field.
And there's some tried and true staples to the montage collection. This is what we do. It's a showdown. It'll be different tomorrow. Possibility. I've got to guess. It's either going to be nothing's going to stop us now or Dido is probably what it's going to be tomorrow. Because if we win, nothing's going to stop us now. If we lose, we don't want to run that white flag up above our door. So, but who knows?
You never know.
You just never know. That's the beauty of it. I got bigger fish to fry. I'm losing photos on my phone.
Really?
I've been warned for a long time. You don't have enough storage anymore. First month, do they put it in something called a cloud or something? Do you have that? Do you have that kind of storage, or do you get rid of pictures so that you always have? Because they won't let me. It says I
think we have unlimited storage.
No. How do you get that?
My wife takes care of all that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you find this strange? My 2 boys and my wife are on one plan, and I'm on a different one. I'm on one of my own. I don't even know why. It just has always been that way. She says, we ought to move you over. Because I think I'm with T-Mobile and they're with, I think they're Verizon.
Well, did you used to have a company phone?
No. Did they actually issue those?
I had one for a little stretch.
Oh, isn't that funny? I never had one. Isn't that funny? I'd like a free phone. Don't you think that's something I'd like to know about?
It brings up some bitterness with me.
Yeah. Well, and then I had one coroner's office, we have 3 of them, right? But there's more than 3, but the 3 that mean the most to us. My great friend, my very close personal friend, Derek Lonnquist, who is, he's, the president of the cluster. And then there's Swedberg and Abbott, right? Swedberg said I can get a company computer anytime I want, and Abbott's tried to, laptop, and Abbott's tried to, no, he doesn't need one. He doesn't need one. He doesn't need one. Well, maybe I would. I'd like one, because I do use a computer. I use it at home to check my email and such. Why can't I have a personal computer? But I don't know how to save phones, because I was trying to, Jess, our head engineer, I wanted to show him the picture that I took on Grandview when I'm pretending to fix the equipment with a couple of butter knives, right? Like I can engineer a broadcast. I can't find the picture. It's disappeared off my phone. I'm losing pictures. And I've protested paying him $1.99. The first month's free, and then it's $1.99, and I think they put it in is it a cloud? Is that what that's called, the cloud? I think I've heard that word used before as you can have all sorts of stuff go up into the Ethernet or whatever and save it. So I guess I'm going to have to do it, because these are some, plus I've got hours of basketball video, baby brother Peter in like 8th and 9th grade. I mean, entire games. Just, that's where all my space is.
That might be where your storage is.
That's where it's getting eaten up. But even when I've eliminated hundreds of pictures, it won't free up any space for it. It just says you won't be able to, what's the phrase they use?
They always like to make those threats.
Yeah, they're making a threat here.
So they can get more money from you.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what they're trying to do. It says, matter of fact, when I go to, I have gallery and then photos. So when I click photos on my phone, here's what it says: photos. All of a sudden it goes, you can't back up all your photos because you don't have enough storage. 100 gigabytes for $1.99 a month. They have that crossed out. 0 for the first month, $1.99 after that. And it's like, I don't want to store pictures. Well, I guess I do. So anyways, that's what I'm doing. So that's that. This text message says, biggest game of the year, and you're talking about phone storage? Yeah. PA just did 3 hours. I was listening. He was breaking down the rosters of the teams. Hartenstein's played 8 years in the NBA. This many left. You just got tons of it before. We don't operate that way. You should know that by now. We're not breaking down rosters and matchups. I'm more interested in my phone storage. The game isn't for how long until the game?
7 hours, 18 minutes, and 40 seconds.
I'll worry about the game then. I don't need to worry about it now. I need to know about my phone storage because I've lost photos and I need those photos. They're important to me. I mean, what more is there to say about the game anyways? It's just time to tap. Do you have any thoughts on the game? I mean, anything you want to dive into? Any nuggets you saw?
The Denver Nuggets are not in this series. It's the Oklahoma City Thunder. They beat the Denver Nuggets in 7 games.
Yeah, I
have one angle, but that'll last 30 seconds, and we are going to commercial break here.
Google Pics will store your pictures. Here's a breakdown of Google One storage pricing. I know, $101.99 a month. I could do it. Well, why don't we do this? When we come back, you can have your little Thunder Nugget, because the Nuggets aren't playing, so we'll call them Thunder Nuggets. You can have your Thunder Nugget. I'll dig some. If you want us to break it down, I can do it. Back to the basket. 94 feet, physical game. Refs are going to have a lot to do with it. We got to play defense. We got to do rotations. And it's like, okay. They're going to tap the ball, and then it's going to, whoever puts the ball in the basket, well, you don't have to put it in more often, because if you could make like 100 twos and make 75 threes, and I think 75 threes would win. But you get my point. But it's just whoever scores more points is going to win the game. It's not that complicated, folks. I do know this. Tennessee has got a keyword for us for bonus bucks. It's brought to you by BigDeck.com.
Yeah, the fan and BigDeck.com want to give you a shot to win bonus bucks with our national cash contest. Enter the keyword bank at KFAN.com now for your shot at winning. That keyword is bank. Enter now at KFAN.com.
So you want to start a business. You might think you need a team of people and fancy tech skills, but listen to me when I say you don't. You just need GoDaddy Aero. I'm Walton Goggins, an actor, and I like the sound of starting my own business, Walton Goggins Goggle Glasses. But I couldn't do this on my own. GoDaddy Aero uses AI to create everything you need to grow a business. It'll make you a unique logo. It'll create a custom website. It'll write social posts for you and even set you up with a social media calendar. How cool is that? Well, listen to this. For a limited time, you can get Aero All Access for just $1 a week for 12 weeks. We're talking all the AI power of GoDaddy Aero plus a domain, e-commerce store, payments, professional email, a unified inbox, all for less money than I spend on deep tanning lotion while sunbathing off the Amalfi Coast. You know what that sounds like? A plan. Get started at GoDaddy.com. Terms apply.
This message comes from Greenlight. Ready to start talking to your kids about financial literacy? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app that teaches kids and teens how to earn, save, spend wisely, and invest with your guardrails in place. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on what your kids are spending with real-time notifications. Join millions of parents and kids building healthy financial habits together on Greenlight. Get started risk-free at greenlight.com/iHeart.
In the heat of battle, your squad relies on you. Don't let them down. Unlock elite gaming tech at Lenovo.com. Dominate every match with next-level speed, seamless streaming, and performance that won't quit, so you can push your gameplay beyond performance with Intel Core Ultra processors for the next era of gaming. Upgrade to smooth, high-quality streaming with Intel Wi-Fi 6E and maximize game performance with enhanced overclocking. Win the tech search. Power up at Lenovo.com.
Lenovo. Hey, everybody. So when you get asked, what is Odoo, what comes to mind? Well, I'll tell you. Odoo is a bit of everything. Odoo is a suite of business management software that some people say is like fertilizer because of the way it promotes growth. But, some people also say that Odoo is like a magic beanstalk because it grows with your company and is also magically affordable.
Ooh. But then again, you could look at Odoo in terms of how its individual software programs are a lot like building blocks. Whatever your business needs, manufacturing, accounting, HR programs, you can build a custom software suite that's perfect for your company. So what is Odoo? Well, Odoo is a bit of everything. Odoo is a fertilizer, magic beanstalk, building blocks for business. Yeah, that's it.
Which means that Odoo is exactly what every business needs. Learn more and sign up now at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Want to chime in what's happening with your favorite KFAN program? Make your voice heard on the Bradshaw and Bryan text line. Let us know what you have to say by texting your message to 64686. That's 64686. Standard message and data rates apply.
And then we've got some practical jokers around here. Peek at Practical Jokes brought to you by Affordable Electric. Month of May is Electrical Safety Month, and the team at Affordable Electric always stresses safety first and foremost. So during the month of May, Affordable Electric encourages you to be proactive and have them come over to your place and take a look at your fuse box or your breaker box. Make sure that they're running properly. There are no issues. For all your electrical needs, reach out to my friends at Affordable Electric. Affordable-electric.com. Affordable-electric.com. Affordable Electric is shockingly affordable. I brought in a set of golf clubs today. Ron Escarico works for Puma. World's greatest irons player wants to try the Bryson DeChambeau same length shafts on all irons, 5 through pitching wedge. So Ron is with Puma. So I picked up a set of those. I met him. It was almost like a drug exchange. I met him on a corner of 77 and Industrial over in Edina yesterday. Got the clubs, threw them in the trunk, brought them in today to show a couple of people. Telling me I wanted to show them to you just so you could see what they look like. They were leaning up against a PA's desk where I basically shared it. So they're gone now. Somebody's taken them. And Abbott's acting like, I don't know where they went. And it's like, we're not children here anymore. We're adults. Let's stop with the practical jokes. Those clubs don't belong to me, and I want them back. He goes, maybe somebody thought it was the free table. You're probably part of the practical joke. You're probably
I didn't hear this one, no.
No. Well, it just happened. And so I'm not happy about that. That's a peek.
I would have loved to have been in on it.
That's Peek at Practical Jokes, brought to you by Affordable Electric. A couple of other emails have come in. First of all, this one says, you need to get iCloud storage, just like $2 a month, basically unlimited. Here's a horror story. I also ran out of storage and didn't use cloud. Old phone battery fully died. I lost all photos for 6 years of the kid's life. Wife has plenty and some on Twitter. So how about that? Just lost them all. So now I got that hanging over me because I got some really good photos in there that are near and dear to my heart. So I'm going to have to get that taken care of. You're getting ripped. Tennessee didn't bring his best stuff today. Throw in the towel Thursday? Maybe. It's actually a tank it Tuesday is what it is, and it's a throw in the towel Thursday. And I do tend to agree with this one, Tennessee. And I hope you don't take offense because we've had this discussion. Text messenger says, hate to be picky, but ELO Showdown is the GOAT. Wolves might come out flat. Because that one you did is by who?
It's not by the Who.
Wah, wah, wah.
It's done by the Doobie Brothers.
Yeah, and I think Showdown by ELO is much better. It's a little...
The problem is there's only like 3 showdowns, and then it's just like...
Oh.
The rest, like the last 3 minutes, never says Showdown in it. Yeah. It's kind of a weird montage song.
Right, but it's gonna be a showdown. And it's just... And it's I like...
Dun, 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 dun,
yeah, and I like the... There's always... The song seems like it has an anticipation to it. It's kind of... It's not slow, but it's not fast. It's kind of like... It's a showdown. And like, if you were expecting a showdown in the Old West, you remember those Old West scenes in the movies where all of a sudden everybody closes their windows and they're all looking out and the 2 gunmen are coming down the street, facing each other with their hand next to their gun, and whoever draws first and fires the quickest, they're going to win that showdown. It's kind of got that feel to it, but...
That's why I thought Showdown was fitting, because they're playing Oklahoma City Thunder, one of those Old West type
that's exactly
towns.
Right. Yeah. It's like... Leave the montage to the montage master.
I'll say what I've said before. If you're going to be critical of it, give me a solution.
Yeah, they don't have.
What's your suggestion?
This one was the ELO showdown.
Sure, the other version you could argue. Yeah.
And so
and
nice.
I thought about it.
So we gave a suggestion. That's nice. And maybe what we'll do when it's Bodega Cat against Julius Randle, the 2 principals in the trade. When they're playing in the NBA, maybe we'll play that showdown version for it. Make people happy.
Well, then it's going to be start spreading the news.
Yeah, there's that too.
Or you play the Jay-Z, Alicia Keys, New York song.
Rosen's favorite song. Favorite artist, Jay Campney. Remember? Alicia Keys is his favorite artist, and you said name one song, and he couldn't name one of her songs, but it's his favorite artist. Couldn't name a song. He didn't even know that was Empire State of Mind. I think he thought it was New York, New York. As good as it gets. Another classic from the legendary Mark Rosen, who will join us before 2 o'clock. So you've got a Thunder Nugget or a Wolves Nugget?
Well, not really like a nugget, just kind of like
a take?
An opinion take, because I've heard a lot of back and forth now in previewing the series, like from experts, and like Jim Peterson was on Pile On today. And it seems to be, I heard Marnie this morning on the Power Trip, and everybody is kind of doing the
conventional wisdom.
Yeah, the conventional wisdom is like, this is just 2 teams that are even, right? Like, we can't find an edge. And I think the Wolves have a slight edge. Like, I'm not going to act like I can break down Wolves versus Thunder matchups.
Right.
Above average at that.
Sorry.
Break down who's going to defend who. What are we going to run the triangle offense? Are we going to run the zone defense? I'm not going to be able to break down that aspect. But if the teams are as even as everyone's saying they are, here's where I think the Wolves have an edge, because I am a big believer in the NBA and the NHL of teams that kind of start from rebuilding mode and slowly build their way up into contenders, that there are steps that you have to get to, right? Like your first step is, all right, we made the playoffs. And typically when you're in that rebuilding mode, when you make the playoffs, they're usually not making a big, deep run at that point. And then you might do a year or 2 of making the first round, and then you advance and you take that another step. You get to the second round. Yep. And for the Wolves, last year they took that step to the Western Conference Finals. This is Oklahoma City's first step to the Western Conference Finals. I think we are slightly ahead of Oklahoma City in that progression.
I see.
Last year was maybe we couldn't handle the pressure of Dallas. We weren't accustomed to being in that spot. Now they've got a year of that. We know what the Western Conference Finals is all about. We know what to expect there. Whereas OKC still might just be like, hey, we're just happy to be here mode. So I think the Wolves are going to have a little bit of a psychological mental edge, and that been here, we know what to expect. We're still bitter from how it went last year. Just a little bit more motivation and a little bit more will, I think, you're going to get from the Wolves. And that's why I'm going to give the Wolves the edge, and they're going to win in 7.
It sounds like you're writing an Eddie Rabbit song. First step, ask her out and treat her like a lady. Second step, tell her you're the one. She's the one you're dreaming of. Third step, take her in her arms and never let her go. Step by step, And it sounds like my problem with that is I always went to the third step right away. I put my arms around him and didn't want to let him go, and I got slapped in the face, and that was the end of the relationship. You're doing an Eddie Rabbit song. First step, second step, third step. It's interesting. I think it was Chip Scoggins, esteemed columnist, Fish Wrap Factory, West Side, who we text and talk more than most people know. We're both Woodburyans or Woodburyans. And so we do text and talk more than most people know. And Chip's been a guest on the show on a number of occasions. And I like what he writes today. He says, he's talking about last year. The Wolves officially arrived as new contenders in the neighborhood by dethroning the champion Denver Nuggets in a 7-game tussle that put them in the Western Conference Finals for only the second time in history. The result was all that mattered. Now, 365 days later, they find themselves in that same place, but the reaction to that result is what's most striking. He says the vibe feels totally different. Wolves players barely celebrated a 5-game series win over Golden State. They treated that accomplishment as if they'd checked another box on a shopping to-do list. Beat Lakers, check. Beat Warriors, check. Okay, now on to the next item. There has been an unmistakable seriousness and maturity about the Wolves as they rested and prepared for the next opponent. They see things clearly with the benefit of a year's experience and perspective. Rudy Gobert says, our goal is not to win 8 playoff games. We're halfway there. And then he started singing, we're halfway there. It was weird, and because apparently he's a big-time Rush fan. So it is that next step that a lot of teams do take. It's the old we talked about it, Teneby. It's that we've played the Bum Phillips soundbite many, many times. It's a classic. Houston Oilers lost in the AFC Championship game to Pittsburgh. Following year, they met them again in the AFC Championship game. They lost that game. And then during the welcome home celebration for the club, even though they lost again in the AFC Championship game, they're at the Astrodome, and he goes, last year we got to the door. This year we knocked on it. Next year we're going to kick it in. And they didn't, but that's kind of, I think, what they're saying here is the Wolves.
OKC is knocking on the door. Yeah. We're about to kick the thing in. That's what I'm saying.
Last year we got there, and now it's time for us to kick it in. And we'll see if that does make a difference. We'll break. We'll come back. We got plenty to get to, including I'm going to weigh in on euthanasia. Oh, no, wait, I can't because I don't know any young kids from that part of the world. We got plenty to get to here on the Common Man program on The Fan.
So you want to start a business. You might think you need a team of people and fancy tech skills, but listen to me when I say you don't. You just need GoDaddy Aero. I'm Walton Goggins, an actor, and I like the sound of starting my own business, Walton Goggins Goggle Glasses. But I couldn't do this on my own. GoDaddy Aero uses AI to create everything you need to grow a business. It'll make you a unique logo. It'll create a custom website. It'll write social posts for you and even set you up with a social media calendar. How cool is that? Well, listen to this. For a limited time, you can get Aero All Access for just $1 a week for 12 weeks. We're talking all the AI power of GoDaddy Aero plus a domain, e-commerce store, payments, professional email, a unified inbox, all for less money than I spend on deep tanning lotion while sunbathing off the Amalfi Coast. You know what that sounds like? A plan. Get started at GoDaddy.com. Terms apply.
Come on, why is this taking so long? This thing is ancient.
Still using yesterday's tech? Upgrade to the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Ultra-light, ultra-powerful, and built for serious productivity. With Intel Core Ultra processors, blazing speed, and AI-powered performance, it keeps up with your business, not the other way around.
Whoa, this thing moves.
Stop hitting snooze on new tech. Win the tech search at Lenovo.com. Lenovo. Unlock AI experiences with the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, so you can work, create, and boost productivity all on one device.
Your child has so much potential, but your local schools may not be right for them. Check out K-12. K-12-powered schools are accredited tuition-free online public schools for students in kindergarten through 12th grade. This is not your typical homeschooling. With state-certified teachers specially trained to teach online, your child will learn at their speed, at home, with innovative, engaging technology. Join the more than 3 million families who have chosen K-12. Go to k12.com/podcast today to learn more. That's k12.com/podcast.
Hey, everybody. So when you get asked, what is Odoo, what comes to mind? Well, I'll tell you, Odoo is a bit of everything. Odoo is a suite of business management software that some people say is like fertilizer because of the way it promotes growth. But, some people also say that Odoo is like a magic beanstalk because it grows with your company and is also magically affordable.
Oh, but then again, you could look at Odoo in terms of how its individual software programs are a lot like building blocks. Whatever your business needs, manufacturing, accounting, HR programs, you can build a custom software suite that's perfect for your company. So what is Odoo? Well, Odoo is a bit of everything. Odoo is a fertilizer, magic beanstalk, building blocks for business. Yeah, that's it.
Which means that Odoo is exactly what every business needs. Learn more and sign up now at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Man.
Thanks to friends at Unreal, you can restock your wardrobe with Unreal golf apparel this year, just like the common man.
Just like me.
Register to win up to $1,000 in Unreal golf apparel on our contest page. One lucky winner will restock their closet with amazing golf apparel thanks to Unreal. That's KFAN.com. Keyword contest to enter today.
I'm going to have to get Nick to correct that because even Jeff Lamont, who is our what we call solutions provider, integrated solutions provider, sales guy with Unreal. He told me that he just worded that kind of wrong. It is $1,000, not up to, but it will be $1,000 in Unreal clothing. Also, we have a giveaway today. Flop, Sweat, and Tears. I know you laugh so much, your side will like your heart will go pity-pat watching Felix. Deuce and I watched in Gilligan's Island. It's so good to have the kids back home. It really is. I mean, well, for a couple days. I sat the kids down last night and told them this isn't a spa. Showers no longer than 10 minutes. I told Bolt Deuce and baby brother Peter, the formal dining room is not a walk-in closet because that's what they've turned it into.
Yeah.
Just throw all this stuff in just everything. Chairs are used as hangers. We don't do that here in this house anymore. You're old enough now to take everything. And you'll be shocked. I came home. Pete had taken all of his stuff from his makeshift walk-in closet, brought it upstairs to his bedroom, and he finally cleaned out his closet. I mean, he'd had clothes there since like third grade. All out, there's a big pile to bring to Goodwill. So he actually listened to his mother and father for once. It was refreshing. It's taken a long time, but I was just stunned by it. So I'm just so proud of my kids. So we got that going for us, which is nice. But it's nice to have them back. Deuce and I watched Gigans last night. Of course, then he had to go dude, bro. Had to play video games at lawn. And all you hear out of the office is dude, bro, dude, bro. Cam Beezy plays for who now, Teneby? Who did he sign with?
Who did he sign with?
He was a guest today on, is her name Kay Adams? Did you say?
Yeah, it's Up and Adams podcast.
Up and Adams, it's a podcast.
Bynum's with the Colts now.
He's with the Colts. Up and Adam with Kay Adams. Up and Adam, get it? That's clever. If my name was Adams, I'd steal it, much like I just see McAfee again. And it's no big deal, but I always see, Tom Cruise will be on the program tomorrow, which we've been calling ours the program for 20 years. They just started it and feel like they came up with it. That's fine. Cam Beezy was on, and you say she asked him, I guess, about
J.J.
McCarthy. And here's what Cam Beezy had to say.
People want to use him as this reason that they aren't contenders. We don't know what JJ looks like. Is that fair? Or am I right? And no, they got to win with him and he's ready to go.
I know he's ready to go. The fact that he had a season-ending injury in preseason and we still saw him every day, that says something in itself. The fact that he did, you can tear your meniscus and it'd be a full season injury. And okay, it's fine. It's normal to not see somebody the rest of the year unless you go look in the training room at some random hour of the day and see him in there. But the fact that he was still in meetings, he was still, bothering us defensive players, asking what coverage were you guys here? What would you guys do in this play in the game? And those are the conversations that I had with JJ going through the season. And he's just coming up to me. I'm like, dude, it's November. He's talking about next year. Like, bro, I'm so ready for this offense. And just those conversations that just told me that, he's different. The fact that he's sitting here after a game in the locker room and we're talking ball and he still has his knee brace on and walking through, flipping a football in his hand, throwing passes to guys in the locker room. I'm like, this guy, I want to say he's weird, but he's different. That's my guy. So that's somebody I respect. And I know that he'll be able to get the job done. And I think they're in good hands having him there. And regardless of what happens, I know he's going to figure it out and thrive in any situation he'll be in.
Sounds like Cam Beezy's thinking they ought to start chiseling his bust out for Cooperstown already, right? Better to hear that than to hear, didn't see a lot out of him during last season, with the injury, moped around a lot, didn't do a lot of film study. So, everything points, everybody says McCarthy seems to, he loves the game. He's ready to go. He's going to be back from the injury. We'll see. I mean, again, Tim, you can use this next time the Tenna Fitzgerald set sail. Talk is cheap. Well, in our case, it's not because they pay us pretty well here, but that's another.
Oh, speak for yourself.
Yeah, well, there's that. This text message says, looks like your use of public humiliation has finally motivated your kids. I would hope so. That's what it came to. I didn't want to publicly humiliate them. What am I supposed to do? Besides, Pete never listens. Deuce does, but Pete never listens. Pete has never listened to my show, I don't think ever. He just has no interest. He says, I hear it every day at home.
Yeah.
Why do I need to listen to the radio? I don't need to. I get enough of you.
It's like I don't get done with the show and then go listen to our podcast when we're done. I've heard enough of you.
You've heard enough.
Yeah.
And I once in a while do listen to the podcast because I don't get enough of you, Tennessee, only because you don't get to talk nearly as much because I just keep going on and on and on and on. As long as we're talking NFL, we'll get back to the especially when Rosen comes in. I'm sure he'll have a mouthful regarding the Thunder versus the Wolves. Series begins tonight. Western Conference Finals on this radio station. Tap scheduled for right about 7:30 or so. League meetings, NFL, taking place in Minneapolis here. Do we know what the Posh and Tony Hotel they're at, or is that top secret?
I do not know.
I'm going to go with the Ivy, even though I don't know it's there. Or maybe it'll be the one right next to, what's the one off of Nicollet? There's a Posh and Tony one on Nicollet, and then right across from Target Center, I think that's where the Wolves' opponents reside. It's one of those. It's Posh and Tony. You know that.
Though, where are they doing all the meetings at?
Or could it be over at the Omni?
Yeah, I would have guessed they're in Egan.
Maybe they're at the Omni in Egan. I bet that's exactly where they're at. That's a good point, Tennessee. I bet they're at the Omni in Egan. That's the Wilfs hotel. Have we heard? Have there been any puffs of white smoke coming from the Omni in Egan regarding any rule changes? Because we talked yesterday that there might be. What was the change we talked about yesterday? We thought there might be.
Well, there's the division seating. For the playoffs,
and then there's also the tush push thing. Has anything been?
Well, I did hear today that Green Bay has kind of rewritten the rule for it, and the way that
tush push.
Yeah, and the way they're doing it now is the one that I fully support.
Okay,
and that there should be no. Because we focus on the actual tush push play, but for me it should be any offensive play, right? When a ball's handed off to a running back and he gets stopped, and all of a sudden 3 offensive linemen come from behind him and push him. I don't like that aspect of it, where it just turns into a rugby play, which is what the tush push has turned into. So I don't have the exact wording in front of me, but that Green Bay has, and they're the ones who are proposing this rule change, have worded it as just any offensive play in which you're basically your offensive players that don't have the ball can only block the other team. They cannot push your own ball carrier. So I think that one's going to be voted on tomorrow, is what I thought I saw. The only other smoke coming out of the meetings is that it sounds like the NFL is going to okay flag football for the 2028 Olympics.
Okay.
So that's going to be a go. And then the playoff seeding and the tush push, I believe, we'll probably hear tomorrow.
If you do a tush push inadvertently or on purpose, I thought I heard it would be a 10-yard penalty, which would be that's enough of a deterrent, I would think, because you're trying to just get a yard, and now you're going to have to get 10.5 yards. So we'll see how it goes. I don't know. I'm not as, for me, and maybe it's because I don't watch enough Eagles games or care enough about the Eagles. Of course, they just did win the World Championship, so maybe we should. The tush push, I've never been that upset about it. It's never bothered me that much. I'm just like, because I've kind of been of that opinion. I mean, I'd rather they don't do it, but I've also been in the opinion, well, if you just stop them. Just find a way to stop it, for crying out loud. I mean, and I don't know why other teams haven't, or have other teams tried it? Or don't other teams?
Well, other teams do it.
Well, are they just not as successful at it? Well, why not?
They're not, yeah.
Well, why? Well, how can Philadelphia? I mean, I know
Jalen Hurts helps.
Well, yeah, but Josh Allen's big and strong.
Yeah.
There's a lot of big, strong quarterbacks out there. So if they change that rule, that's all right by me. Like
I said, for me, it's not always just been tush push. It's been, I don't like that any offensive play, you have linemen pushing their ball carrier from behind.
Yeah. It does become, it's more of a rugby play.
Then, like, how many times have a running back got stopped at the 3-yard line, and then he's getting pushed by his own lineman, and then he gets the touchdown? He's not even doing anything. He's just getting caught in between a tug of war between the offense and the defense at that point.
Yeah. Well, and I know you and I had a difference of opinion here. I'm wondering if there's going to be, if teams will find a way to circumvent it, like the Eagles a little bit. It'll be hard to judge whether a guy was actually pushing. Was he pushed into somebody? Did the defensive player, the defensive player pushed me into the running back. I wasn't trying to, or into the quarterback. I don't know how easy it'll be to, you would think it would be easy to officiate, but we'll find out. And my guess is they will go with some version of that, like you're talking about. On the reseeding, I don't think they're going to do it. And I know we talked about it, I want to say in depth yesterday. We talked about it because, the biggest difference would be in the divisional round where they would actually do a reseed. It would have changed everything in the NFC divisional playoffs last year. But I don't perceive a change in that, but maybe they'll give it a shot once, and I understand the arguments both pro and con, but again, we'll see. They're expected to take votes today and tomorrow because it's a 2-day meeting, today and tomorrow, right? The owners' meetings, and it'll be over. Tennessee, I was looking at some, if you want some inside NBA playoff numbers, I decided to break some things down last night. Well, I couldn't sleep last night. Had some stomach issues. So I got up in the middle of the night and started breaking down some numbers. Number 1, Oklahoma City. We're talking seeding now. Number 1, Oklahoma City, and number 6, Minnesota. In the East, it's number 3, New York, and number 4, Indiana. Under the current NBA playoff format, which goes back to 1984, 1 versus 6 and 3 versus 4 has been very rare. It does not happen very often. 3 versus 4 has happened 3 previous times, all in the West. Now, this is an East, 3 and 4. But it's happened 3 previous times, all in the West, and each time the number 3 seed won the series 4-1 on their way to claiming the NBA title. Those matchups, San Antonio over Utah in 2007, Dallas over OKC in 2011, and Golden State over Dallas in 2022. 1 versus 6, this is the 6th time the number 1 seed has played a number 6 seed in this format, with 4 of the previous matchups in the conference finals and the other in the 95 NBA finals. The number 1 seeds are 3 and 2. The LA Lakers beat Phoenix for the West title in 84. Detroit beat Chicago in 89 for the East title. And Boston swept Indiana last year for the East crown. The 6 seed wins both came in 95 when Houston ousted San Antonio for the West title and then swept Orlando for the NBA championship. So the 6 seed has had some success. 6 seed success. It doesn't look like a mess. 6 seed success. It doesn't look like a mess. So,
and I would also add, too, that the Wolves, they were 1 game away from being a 3 seed.
That is correct. So,
there's no difference between the 3 through the 8 seeds in the Western Conference.
And I will add that just because something has happened numerous times or hasn't happened doesn't mean things can't change. That's something I've I've hung my
Well, and
hat
sometimes
on.
injuries are a part of that as well, right?
That's correct.
If Julius Randle's healthy for the whole season, maybe they aren't the 6th seed.
Tennessee, we've seen some miraculous comebacks with the Wolves in recent history. Last year, remember, they were down to Denver, 20 or 23 points in the second half of the Game 7 of the Western Conference, or the Western Conference semifinals, and they came back and won that game. They were down by a boatload to Oklahoma City earlier this year in their third of 4 meetings, rallied back in overtime to win that game. This season, there have been 5 rallies in the postseason. There have been 5 rallies of at least 20-point deficit so far, but I would not advise you to expect that. Here's some other numbers. Minnesota and Indiana are both 6-0 this postseason when leading after 3 quarters. 6-0. If they've got the lead, they finish it off. New York is 4-0 in that scenario. So those 3 teams, when they've got a lead after the third quarter, they find a way to close. Doesn't guarantee it, but it is some food for thought. Meanwhile, Oklahoma City is 5-2. Which, given the way the regular season went, is a bit surprising because they had the best record in the league. And during the regular season, the Thunder were 61-2 when leading going into the fourth quarter. One of those 2 losses was to the aforementioned Minnesota Timberwolves. So, but yeah, because once you get down, I think, like for instance, I would think in that Oklahoma City, this is not to take anything away from the Wolves' brilliant rally in that game, where they sent it to overtime. But it is a regular season game. I don't think the Thunder quit, but the ball just got rolling so bad it was like, okay. But if that postseason, I think you're going to try. There's be a bit more panic if another team starts coming back like that. But just if you have the lead after 3 quarters, especially if you have a larger lead, it's a pretty good chance you're going to win the game. Because all these teams.
So I felt like there's been a lot of big comebacks, at least earlier on in the playoffs so far this year.
Well, that's what I just said that. It was, there have been 5 rallies from at least 20-point deficit so far this postseason. There have been 5. So it has happened. But, again, when Minnesota's leading after 3, they're 6-0, as are Indiana, and New York is 4-0. So, yeah, it's, you can crunch the numbers all you want. That's why it's all this, like you had mentioned, Marnie had talked about it. You said, who was on with PA?
Jim Pete was on with PA today.
Jim Peterson, that you look at these 2 teams, while they're not necessarily mirror images of each other, they both got a star player. They both got some talented big guys. They both love to play defense. They can both play in transition. And they both have 3-point shooters. So, yeah, they're a lot alike, and they're in the Western Conference Finals. But I don't know if it's so much just being alike. You get to this point. I mean, look, last year, I guess I'm going to contradict myself because last year you had Dallas and Minnesota, and you thought, well, again, you're looking at lengthy series, and we got beat 4-1. So, but I do think the teams are both talented enough. I know what you're saying about Minnesota having, last year got to the door, they want to kick it in. And that may have something to do. I don't feel, though, the Thunder is going to have that feeling of we're just happy to be here. The Wolves. I read you those quotes from the piece from Chip Scoggins in Fish Wrap Factory West, where he said, Wolves didn't do any massive celebration after beating Golden State in 5. They weren't like they didn't have to put plastic sheeting all over the locker, so the spray of the champagne wouldn't damage wouldn't soak any clothes. But they were going about business, and they know Gobert said it. There's 4 more to go. My guess is Oklahoma City feels that way too, but it should be. I mean, if you can steal one of the first 2 on the road, obviously that's important because it's. I feel good about the Wolves team. I don't.
So do I.
I feel better about the Wolves team this year than I did last year, even though I liked last year's team. I thought they were going to beat Dallas. I did, but This should be good. It should be a lot of fun. The legendary Mark Rosen will join us just before 2 o'clock. We'll get his thoughts on the game. He claims he's not going to Oklahoma City. We've already heard JG tell me yesterday he is not going to OKC. I don't believe
he did look at flights, though. I did get that from him.
Yeah.
I think there's not a lot of direct flights to OKC, and the ones that there are expensive.
Well, it's a stagecoach. You tell him to fly into Indianapolis and then take a stagecoach is the best way to get to Oklahoma City.
I think it costs $1,000 to get down there now.
Yeah. Trust me, he's got the money. He ain't living check to check. If you listen to the radio station, you know he ain't living check to check. He's got I guarantee you, if it goes to a game 7, he'll be there. Guaranteed.
You still got a wife that you have to justify $1,000 to go be a rube and go see a one-off basketball
maybe
game.
Maybe he has separate accounts too that he doesn't have to justify that. You wouldn't have to justify it with your wife. If you took the money out of your own account to go see the Winnipeg Jets and the Minnesota Wild in the game 7 up at whatever Molson Center up in Winnipeg, you wouldn't have to justify. You'd have to justify the time away.
Well, yeah.
That would be the hard part, but you've got your own checking account.
I still think there's some justification.
What's it down to?
I don't really know if I should talk about it, but it's down to $65,000 right now.
What?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Not good.
Well, you're right. When we talked about making a lot of money and you aren't, boy, if you're down to $65,000, you're in some trouble there. Anything I can do? I owe you $4.
Yeah, you owe me $4. That would be nice.
Will that help?
Give me a chunk of the way back.
Yeah, I'll get you part of the way there. We've got 534 coming up on the other side of the break. Tanabee, you got a tease, please?
Yeah, KFC will see an old flame in August.
Come on, why is this taking so long? This thing is ancient.
Still using yesterday's tech? Upgrade to the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Ultra-light, ultra-powerful, and built for serious productivity. With Intel Core Ultra processors, blazing speed, and AI-powered performance, it keeps up with your business, not the other way around.
Whoa, this thing moves.
Stop hitting snooze on new tech. Win the tech search at Lenovo.com.
Lenovo.
Unlock AI experiences with the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, so you can work, create, and boost productivity all on one device.
You know, some people say that Odoo business management software is like fertilizer, the way it promotes growth and all. But other people say Odoo is like a magic beanstalk because it grows with your company and is also magically affordable. And there's some people who would even say Odoo's individual software programs come together to build the perfect suite like building blocks. Well, Odoo is all of these things. Fertilizer, magic beanstalk, building blocks for business. So sign up now at odoo.com. ODOO.com.
Your child has so much potential, but your local schools may not be right for them. Check out K-12. K-12 powered schools are accredited tuition-free online public schools for students in kindergarten through 12th grade. This is not your typical homeschooling. With state-certified teachers specially trained to teach online, your child will learn at their speed, at home, with innovative, engaging technology. Join the more than 3 million families who have chosen K-12. Go to k12.com/podcast today to learn more. That's k12.com/podcast.